Hello everyone. In this video, we are going to see clash between Peter Nielsen and Luke McShane. And in this game, it was played in 2003, and we'll see that how McShane's Grunfeld defense has been destroyed by Peter Nielsen. And we'll little bit tell about Peter Nielsen. And we all know that he was the second in Anand's team during his World Championship. Later on, he changed his team and went on to join Magnus team, and then Magnus become also World Champion. He was a very strong player indeed, very original idea, a brief and great, I would say, knowledge in chess, positional, then the overall understanding, and then basically coached lots of great players in the chess world. So in this game, white started the game with d4. White was Nielsen, black was Maxen. So knight f6, c4, g6, knight c3, d5, cd, knight d, e4, and it's all open Grunfeld. We all know knight c3, bc3, bishop g7, completely going on with the main line. Bishop c4, c5, knight e2, knight c6, bishop e3, cd4, cd4, queen a5, and again going with the main line. There are numerous games available in this line, and all moves are complete. Even lots of current world champions have played this line multiple times. Arjun Erigaisi, Gukesh Dombaraju, they have female players just like Goryachkina. Kramnik has played it multiple times. Topalov has played. Ivanchuk has played. Many top players have played this line. Ivan Sokolov was there in the Luke Van Valley. Then Razabov has played. So we will see that main move is obviously bishop to d2, and after bishop d2, black has played, yeah, queen to d8, d5, knight e5. Okay, so definitely we are not going to take here because after queen a1, this is just again you are going to lose a piece anyway. So d5, knight e5, bishop to c3. Again, you cannot take on c4 because g7 is hanging. So castle, bishop b3, queen b6, f4, attacking the knight on e5, and then knight d7. Okay, in this position, actually there was a very famous game of Vladimir Kramnik. Actually, he played with Peter Swidler, who is a Grunfeld expert. So after knight g4, Swidler played knight g4 at this moment, and after bishop d4, queen b4 check, queen d2, queen d2, king d2, e5, h3, ed4, hg4, and opposite color bishop was there, but the weakness on f7 helps white to went on to win the game. That is the famous game is there. You can just check the reference game in the database. So this game is there also, but here deviates. Maxen deviates with knight d7. Okay, which is a better move. Bishop to g7, king to g7, rook c1. Again, it's all going to, we all know Grunfeld is a deep opening theory, and after rook c1, and now black has played rook to d8, and it was a good move. How you should come up with, okay, here I can see in my database that in the same position basically he played another game with Parker Jonathan, and the game was ended as a draw. Okay, and it was firmly analyzed in the database as well. So here the point is are how white is going to develop the pieces, okay, or organize the pieces. uh, it is the opening is already over, and in this moment I would definitely recommend you to pause this moment and just look at it and see that white cannot do castle, okay, because king is on the center. White is having a very large center space in the center, but if black can break this center, then this king will feel very uncomfortable on e1, right? So how white is going to recollect or basically reorganize his pieces? White has played rook c4, an excellent move that White's chances for an advantage are very, still very much based on his lead in development. The what is the idea of this kind of moves? That I am going to play maybe queen to d4, okay, and I'll keep my king on the center, okay, because in the end game, what will happen? My king will be much more superior than this king, and black is now c8 bishop and a8 rook is still not developed. It is kind of underdeveloped on the queen side. So that part will help. But is thinking about queen d4 and just bringing the rook on the open d file, which is a much better square. So e5, black has played queen a1. Okay, now queen d4 is not possible. So white brings the queen to a better square to make a pin. f6. Now this was a mistake. Again, better move was to play rook e8 and keep control over the e file. Okay, so f6 is a big error. Okay, in this kind of opening. Why? It makes the square very weak. The light squares are becoming very weak, and this was not a good way to handle this kind of situation. And queen c3 into f4, blacks, that was black's plan that I'm going to play f6 and make my king safe. I'll take on f4. Okay, and then I'll ask you a question, and I'm going to jump with my knight on e5 and create a farm blockade. Knight into f4, knight e5. That was mainly white's plan, black's plan. So rook c7, white calculated the position very accurately. So now he is going to enter into lion's den, and let's see, king h8. And now here again, I would recommend you to pause the moment, pause the video and see what's the best way for white to continue. I hope you got it, or some of you maybe not got it. So rook to f1. The bringing the last piece into the game. My king on e1 seems to be ugly, but it is completely safe. There is no black piece which can attack my king on e1. And suddenly the rook belongs to this open file. Whenever the knight will move, this rook will just open up the position. Bishop to d7, and black lost a tempo at this moment. Here the correct move was again rook to e8, playing on the open file. The rook is king is on the e file, so keep this thing. And here white has to find an accurate move to keep the advantage going on is h3, which is not a very easy move to find. Okay, because after bishop e6, knight, sorry, bishop d7, knight e6, bishop into e6, rook into f6, queen g1 check, rook f1, queen h2, and d6. And this is, I'm going to play g3, and this diagonal is crucial, and white is going to win this game. But after bishop d7, now the losing is obvious. Knight to e6, rook c d8. Again, if you take on e6, simply rook f6. We have already seen queen g1, rook f1, queen h2, g3, queen h5, and after bishop d1, queen g5. And now after rook f5, this was key move in this line, gf5, sorry, queen into e5, and the game is practically over for black. d6 is coming, and yes, you can, it seems that queen e3 is annoying, but after king f1, queen d3, king f2, queen d2, and bishop e2, black cannot save the checkmate. Queen e6 is coming, queen e7 is coming, d7 is coming, rook d7, everything is hanging. Simply position is falling apart, and rook to dc8 played by black last moment, and now rook into f6 again, threatening this, rook into c7. And now I believe that Maxian overlooked this move, and at this moment there is a cute way to win the game, which is rook f8 check. And black has simply overlooked this move, and now black is getting checkmated. Rook into f8, queen into e5, king g8, queen g7 is a checkmate. I hope you like this video. If you like it, kindly share with your friends, and if you are new in my channel, please subscribe it. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye bye.